Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Alright guys, let's get down to it. Now, first things first, I would like to say thank you to Mark and Dean for appearing on my last episode. Those guys did fantastic. It was a lot of fun to make that guest episode with them. Cracked my longest episode yet, 2 hours long. Little tidbit, I didn't think it would go that long when I had it in my notebook, but with those guys, like, honestly, that is our lives. When we go see a movie like DC, Marvel, anything, we're in the theater for an extra 20 minutes, or we're outside the theater talking for another hour, trying to discuss everything that we've seen, every plot point, everything. Like, you should have seen us after we watched Infinity War. Like, we were sitting there, mind-boggled, going, what the fuck just happened? What? That's honestly our lives, and those two guys, as I said, is one of the main reasons why I'm doing this, because they've encouraged me to go tackle this on and see where it goes and express my opinion, and I hope that, people will listen in and give feedback and give opinions and discussion, because this is what this is really about. This is really me about it, talking about my passion, and discussing with other people who are interested in all these things and see theories, ranting, raving, reviewing all together. But I'd like to say thank you to those guys, as well as that was my first guest episode, and that was a lot of fun, and I actually have more to come. I have 3 people currently at my side that will be appearing in future episodes. We're currently in discussions of what we'll talk about, obviously movies, TV shows, and video games, but different topics they want to talk about, and I can't wait to have them appear on the podcast and for you guys to hear them. I know they're excited, and they can't wait. So that's what's future to come, and that's what I'll be future bring, and it'll be a lot of fun. With the pleasantries aside, let's get down to this. So, in the last week or so, probably the biggest news besides Loki, as I said in my midweek rant, unfortunately, the biggest news I can really see besides that is the fact that, unfortunately, Harrison Ford, in all his Harrison Fordish nature, apparently hurt his shoulder doing a fight scene in Indiana Jones 5. Apparently, it's actually worse off than what they first thought it would be, and potentially halted production for the next 3 months while he's in recovery. So potentially the release date for Indiana Jones 5 could be pushed back because of that. Look, he's a very resilient man. I do know that I'm pretty sure that one of his small planes that he flies crashed, they walked away from. Star Wars and The Force Awakens, the Millennium Falcon, the door slammed on him. So he's been through the wars, yet he's one of those people that I don't personally know him, but I'm pretty sure the sentence "too stubborn to die," I feel like Harrison Ford would be like number 3 or number 2, right up there in those kinds of people. So I wish him a speedy recovery. I can't wait for Indiana Jones 5. My biggest thing is I hope it's better than Indiana Jones 4, because that was just ugh. Look, I have a pile of shit movies that I do think of the first thing comes to my head, comes to my mind, and that movie's kind of like in the circle. Terrible movies. So I wish him a very speedy recovery. Obviously, the main news that I did watch is the fact that Loki episode 4. Now, 110%, that episode is a lot better than episode 3. A lot more happened, and a lot more well, yeah, a lot more happened. Some questions were answered. Some questions got answered and just created more. First things first, the timekeepers, androids. It's always androids, wizards, or aliens, and they are androids. Which, look, I'm so sorry if anyone's listening to this and they haven't seen it yet. Spoiler alert, everywhere. I don't know how else I can explain this. Obviously, when this episode comes out, it's Tuesday, the day before Loki. So I've given you a week to listen to this. I've given you a week to go watch it. If you haven't going to watch it, that's on you. No pity. No fucking pity if you come and listen to this. Because it's right in the description what I talk about. But also, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Always. The TV androids, when you're watching the episode, after that first scene, you kind of gathered something was up. Or something didn't seem 100%. Like, I got a lot of Wizard of Oz vibes, like smoke and mirrors, someone working behind the background, in which we discovered, yep, bingo. Someone's still working behind the scenes. Now, obviously, a lot of theories are boom, straight to Kang the Conqueror, which I agree too. It's pointing in that direction. The only thing is that if you do look at the timeline, I'm pretty sure that the actor who is playing Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man 3 got announced after Loki finished filming and all done and dusted. Because remember, we're like a year behind. Like, I'm pretty sure Loki finished filming in like 2019. Like, everything's been pushed back a year. Black Widow has been pushed back. Pretty much in the state that we're looking at the MCU is, well, the next few movies, all year old, all year in advance, like all year in delay. So whether or not this Loki TV show leads to Kang the Conqueror or he does make an appearance will be very interesting, because we do have 2 episodes left, obviously the 45-minute mark on both. So it's going to be really good to see whether or not what direction we'll go. Obviously, being Marvel fans, a majority of comments I saw was like, it's Mephisto. It is Mephisto. It's not Mephisto. It's not this time around. WandaVision was close. Obviously, Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier was not Mephisto. But it'd be very interesting to see where these 2 episodes go. What I'm really curious about to see is whether or not who's actually pulling the strings is someone we've already seen in the Loki episode, like in the Loki TV series so far, or if it's someone like Kang the Conqueror outside. Like, will they do like what they did in WandaVision? It wasn't someone outside. It was Agatha all along. That's the kind of road I want to know what they take. I was surprised when Morbius died. I was kind of shocked. I didn't think he would. Like, I thought he might be captured or contained, but no, he was straight out gone. Which I said to my mate, when I said to Dean when we were watching it, I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "All right, that was a nice, short-lived Owen Wilson. You did wonderful to the character. R.I.P." Look, I hope he comes back. I think he's done a great job, and I think everyone in the Marvel fan base wants to see him ride a jet ski, or cry like, "Oh, Morbius never go on the jet ski." Look, honestly, I might be like that. But yeah, I was surprised that he died. And look, it's kind of now. I love the bit when he said the fact that Loki's a narcissist, because the fact that he's technically in love with himself. What kind of border that kind of lies on? Like, it's not is it like incest, or is it like you're in love with yourself? Like, the only true love that you found was in yourself. That sounds like it's going to be written in a book somewhere, or a self-help book. Like, to truly love you, you need to love yourself, and a lot. That's when you find that true love, then you blah 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 blah. Full of crap. Love that entire scene. It was good seeing Sif again. I was not expecting that cameo. That was good. For every guy out there, that was a very painful scene to watch, and that is a hell that I think any guy would hate to be in, whether it be any person, just a constant hell loop of getting kicked in the nuts. That sounds ever so painful and horrible. No, thank you. So that was really good seeing her. I hope she appears in more. She was a good character. It was sad that she was missing Thor 3. Hopefully she'll appear in Thor 4, which I think she's meant to. I think she's meant to appear in there, so that would be really good. Love and Thunder. But that was a really good scene. And yeah, the end of after the credits scene after Loki, the fact he went up in sort of kind of like a hell or a pocket dimension, where you saw Botrus Loki, Kid Loki, Classic Loki, and Alligator Loki. And Classic Loki is played by Richard E. Grant. Holy shit. Which, that's his second Marvel role, obviously after Logan, playing the villain in that. Which you can see if you did pause it, or if you did notice in a quick eye, you obviously can see the Avengers Tower. You can also see Doctor Strange's building as well. So I'll be very curious to see what is this a pocket dimension? So if they get erased, is it the fact that when they get erased, do they go to a pocket dimension with every other single variant that's been, erased? Don't go watch the Arnie movie called The Eraser. This has nothing to do with it. That's completely off topic. So it'd be interesting to see if Morbius actually did he go to his pocket dimension with a whole bunch of Owen Wilsons. DC Lightning McQueen. When you wake up, always as hell. Ka-chow. So it'd be interesting to see if he comes back, because there's obviously the scene that you see in the trailer is that you see President Loki at some point. So obviously he comes back somehow. Obviously an argument that's all in these movies now that you always hear when you're talking to somebody, like, they always come back, they never stay truly dead. And I say to you, Tony Stark is dead. He's dead. He ain't coming back. Vision did. That was a surprise. But Tony Stark isn't coming back. And Quicksilver, the MCU Quicksilver ain't coming back. And obviously the half Quicksilver coming back doesn't count. But yeah, Tony Stark ain't coming back. That's chapter closed. So I say that, there you go. Fuck yeah. But it will be, sorry. So the fact that Loki has that scene as President Loki in the trailer, so we know he's coming back, so what that's going to do is going to be really good. I was totally surprised when he got erased as well. I was like, alright, here comes the kiss scene, true love, blah, blah. Nah, that was very, totally gone. That was a very reminiscent scene at the end of WandaVision, seeing Vision not be erased. Oh yeah, you could say be erased as well, start to go away. Which is also sad. I know it might sound silly, but you spend, I've spent 10 years, 10 years or 12 years, sorry. You're watching these characters, grow, conflict, So like as I said, when you see a sad scene, it hits you a little bit more opposed to normal, because you haven't been spending, as a normal movie, you haven't spent just 30 minutes getting to know this person that was, sad, blah, blah. You've actually spent a lot more time with these characters, and so it hurts more. Look, I do understand that. I do understand. However, John Wick 1, where his dog dies, everyone in that theater felt that. Everyone who watches that movie feels that like a ton of bricks. And you know what? You know, screw the guy that killed his dog. Yep, I want to see you like Peter. Peter? That's the animal rights group? Yep, like they'll be all for it. Like, you know, you kill a dog, John Wick will come after you. Yeah, John Wick will come after you. John Wick would be a great ambassador for PETA. Like, who, you know, people would never do anything against animals ever again if John Wick was their ambassador. They're like, yep, all right, we won't do anything wrong. We love the animals. We'll take care of them. Or for in Australia, the RPCA, that would be fantastic. Seeing John Wick being the ambassador for that. Back to topic. So yeah, you feel these characters a whole lot more and everything that does happen. So pumped for the next 2 episodes. Can't wait to see. Can't wait to talk to you guys more about that. I'm sure my mind will still be fucking blown on the end of it. And I'll still have 1,000 more questions that probably won't get answered. In this past week, Black Widow has released worldwide on the world release. So, world release. I hope to see it this weekend with the boys, and can't wait to talk to you guys about that. I did see something. Look, I'm excited for Black Widow. You know, the MCU is back, big screen, action, back into this universe. I did see a review that someone said, best Marvel movie ever, period. Now, if you are that journalist who's written that on that review, we know what you tried to do. We know that you only did that to get everyone knocked up to go see this movie. And you know what? It worked. But I don't think it's... look, I have no doubt it's going to be a great movie. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be great going making this world. Ooh, best Marvel movie ever. Ooh, it's a little bit stretched. There's a lot more I think will be better. Hey, but I haven't seen it, so I can be wholly surprised. And look, for all those people that are getting sick of me talking about Black Widow, I promise you, after I've seen it, after I do the episode, I won't talk to it as much. But then again, if someone else asks me about it, then I will bring it up. But hopefully you're going to see that this weekend. Can't wait to jump right back in this universe and see if it is the best Marvel movie ever made. Should be fun. Moving on to the next part is, still stay on Marvel. Guardians of the Galaxy starts shooting at the end of this year. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I can't wait. We should have already got Guardians of the Galaxy 3 already, but thanks to some dickhead who's gone back and found those tweets on James Gunn page, and then obviously Disney pulling the trigger too fast and going, you're fired, get out. And then, what was it, I think about even like 2 months later, and I was like, I'll come back. And obviously in that 2 months later, James Gunn got other work and made the Suicide Squad. So that's why that got delayed. And I get everybody has a past. You know, everybody has a past, good or bad. But I don't feel like if I've said something like 6 or 7 years ago, and if I make a public statement saying, "Look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I was angry, or I was annoyed, or it was in bad taste," then all right, you should accept that. And I think it was a poor part of Disney to pull the trigger and fire him straight away. And look, they've had to pay for it because the fact Guardians of the Galaxy got delayed. There was no version that if they try to make Guardians of the Galaxy 3 without James Gunn was going to be any good. Look, like, I don't get me wrong, like, it would be still be same energy, still be fun, but something would be missing. James Gunn is a great director. I love his work, and it would be something missing if he wasn't directing Guardians, and it would feel too weird. So I'm glad he's back. I'm glad that he's written the script, and it's, technically speaking, he should have been the first one to finish his Marvel trilogy in the MCU. Unfortunately, because of that, he'll be the second one. Obviously, the first one being Spider-Man director. Obviously, that's coming out at the end of the year. He'll be the first one to finish his trilogy from start to finish. But that's near here. But I'm excited. I can't wait. Another thing another little bit of news. Now, me and my partner, we watched Endgame last night, and it was her choice. For the record, that was her choice. That was Maddie's choice to watch Endgame. All credit goes to her. All around applause. Also, Maddie wanted me to tell everybody that yes, I was mistaken. She has watched Ghostbusters, which I said in my first post. She hasn't seen it, but she has seen it. But I don't think all the way through. So don't think all the way through. But she has seen it. She wanted me. So that's amends. That's amends to her. Amends to me. So we watched Endgame again last night, and I've watched this about 10 times now. And every time I watch it, tearjerker on Black Widow dying, tearjerker on the Paul scene, tearjerker watching Tony die, and just thinking like this was, no, I can't fault it. I can't fault Endgame, where I thought, they could have done that better, or why'd they do that? Which I can't. A lot of people obviously can, and obviously nitpick like that. But I think it's a solid movie. Like it did what it set out to do. You got the core Avengers back. You did a heart story. It was one last hurrah, the last dance of all them together. And it actually, watching it now, with knowing what comes after with Loki, WandaVision, and Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier, actually is very interesting because you look at it and go, all right, so I know where these characters would go. Like, this is almost calm before the storm. Even though you've technically gone from storm to storm, this is another calm. And it's kind of sad. And it's another sad looking at going, well, you won't, I look forward to the future, but, you won't see the core team. You won't see the core team ever again. Unless Marvel does what DC does. It goes, oh, look, the reboot button. Yep, do it. Reboot it. Fuck it. Doesn't matter. But, sir, we're halfway through DCU. Nah, fuck it. Reboot it. It's good seeing those characters, and it's good thinking like, oh, this is what the future will bring for them and what comes next. Especially knowing with what happens with Black Widow, that you do get one last hurrah with her, and the fact that Captain America gets his life at the end, and seeing all these Marvel shows that do come from it. But this is one that's always plagued in my mind ever since watching Endgame and knowing the announcement of all the shows that come next, is that the one show I wish they will make, like, yep, they're making Moon Knight, yep, they're making Hawkeye, yep, they're making She-Hulk, look, I'll watch them all. But one I do wish they would make is, which I would, it's a dream, pipeline, hopefully Chris Evans would come back, is Captain America returning the time stones to the Infinity Stones back to their place of origin, and seeing how that journey goes, because I would love to see what happens when he tries to return to Red Skull. That would be interaction that I think a lot of people would love to see, Because the thing is, like, Red Skull, like, is his main villain. He's Joker to Batman. He's Lex Luthor to Superman. Yet we only saw him in one movie. Obviously, we felt the effects from him for every movie to come, but he only appeared in one movie, and yeah, it'd be really good to see him talking to him, see what the interaction will be. Him trying to return the stones, him going to Asgard, would be really good to see. But that would be the dream. That would be the dream to see what that kind of show would be like, and I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I think a lot of people would go see it as well. Another thing about Endgame that going back a little bit, this is what I do love, and I thought this actually sent a really good message about, if I'm being real at this moment of time, and using a Marvel analogy, you could do, which people have done, is you could do a case study on Thor in Endgame as in depression and in denial, because you see through the movie, like I get it, it's just a superhero movie, but you see Thor and you can see how much, like, this isn't normal Thor. Like, everything that happened in Infinity Game really took a toll on him. Like, he's 1,000 years older than everyone else of his entire team. So he's gone through battles and wars, and he's always come on top. He's always won. And if you have that nobility, and even you have that, you have that strength and that perception, yet you saw in Endgame Infinity War that he lost. And you saw at the beginning of Endgame the fact, Rocket asked him, like, what did you do? And he's like, I went for the head. Like, he knew, like, he blamed himself for everything that happened in Infinity War. Because he didn't aim. He aimed for the chest. Which, between me and you, I'd go for the chest. But in hindsight, you would go for the head, or you would go for the hand holding the Infinity Gauntlet. But that's here and there. But what I'm trying to say is, I do like the fact that, you saw how broken and how miserable his character was. And the most important scene, I think, for him was the fact that when he called out to Mjolnir, and he was like, I'm still worthy. And I think that's a really good scene. That's a really good scene, even if you're going through something, or if you, obviously, depression, anxiety, and everything, don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself in within. Obviously, that's very hard. That's very hard. That's very easy to do than say. Very easy to say than do. But that scene showed the fact that even though he had all that, even though he gained all this weight, he was defeated in his mind, he was defeated in his life, that, Mjolnir still came to him. Whoever wields this hammer shall possess the power of Thor. He was still worthy. And you can see that after he gets that, the strength that follows from him, the fact that he just got told that, obviously he didn't get told physically, he didn't get told by a person, because saw his mum said he was still worthy, and the hammer still came to him. And I think that's a really powerful scene, and I think that's a really good thing for people, in that scene, the fact that you're still worthy, that whatever you're going through in life, whatever you may have, and to stay strong. And even if someone doesn't say it, you have to go remember yourself, or your friends, your family, that at the end of the day, you're still worthy. You could still pick up Mjolnir at the end of the day, whether good, bad, you could still kick ass. That's my reflection of game. I think that's the most serious I've probably been in this entire podcast. Probably the most serious Avengers Die podcast, and I hope you guys like that. So that's also watched Rick and Morty. That new episode. Look, I think I liked Mr. Nimbus a whole lot more than I think I liked the second episode. The episode was like, I could hear the gears in my mind like cranking very slowly, trying to figure out who was a duplicate, who wasn't, who was the real one, why did everything happen like that. Still very Rick and Morty, still good to watch. Like, I'm still excited, but I think the first one, that was straight here home run, when I think that this didn't one reach that bar as far, but it was still good to watch. Still really dark. Like, there was one bit where when they got caught, I was like, all right, this is very Saw, Event Horizon-esque. I'm guessing where this is going to go. But I'd go check it out. It was still good to watch, but at saying that, if you missed it, and if you go to episode 3, no harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. So still going to watch that, and I would like to say thank you for everyone for joining me on this episode. I would like to, if you guys can, I do have my Instagram page for this podcast. If you would like to give that a like and a share, as well as if you want to drop a message. New thing I'll be bringing out, as this episode, is if you have a movie or a TV show or a video game you would love for me to review or give my wonderful feedback through, let me know. Let me know, drop a message, and I will give you my best 100%, 10% opinion on it, good or bad, and I will rant to my heart's content for it. But yeah, if you could give that a follow, and always share this podcast. Always, I do want to know everyone's feedback. I hope you're enjoying my little tidbits, my news, and I hope you join me for a few episodes. As always, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.